What's your pitching philosophy? What got you so far?
I think it's more of a. I think my philosophy's been done through a bunch of different, through different coaches through my whole experience from college all the way through the minor leagues, and I've been fortunate enough to have a few very good pitching coaches who have kind of taught me not so much mechanics but the mental side of the game. And so what I do is I try and attack guys as much as I can, and attacking hitters for me, that's, if I keep that mentality, usually that ends up working out for me. The more aggressive I stay, the more I can stay within myself and be successful.
Now, do you pitch to your strengths or a batter's weakness?
I pitch to more of my strengths. Obviously, you want to, you know what they can and can't do with the ball, but if it comes down to it, knowing what I can and can't do with it. If I try to be a different pitcher than I know I can be, it ends up hurting me. So if it comes down to it, it's going to be my strength, even if it is their strength too. I'd rather pitch to my strength because that's what got me where I'm at.
Now, going to the draft, they talk about first-round draft picks have all this talent in the world, but once they get in the organization, sometimes they get passed up by guys in the 50th round. Why does that happen?
I don't know. I've been fortunate enough to play with a few first rounders in my career, and I've seen some of them go up to the big leagues, and I've seen some of them not make it there yet, and some of them not make it more than a few years. I think it's all once you get into the system and you start playing every day. I think different players respond different ways. I don't have the magic answer why certain guys go, but a lot of mental toughness goes into it. I'm not saying anyone's mentally tougher than anyone else. It's just that I think to mentally grind out every single day, that's something that a lot of guys don't know about from college and high school. It's a different mentality in the minors, playing 142 games and then going up to the big leagues and playing 162. It's very mentally grinding and physically as well, but the mental grind is what really you're not expecting. So you have to learn how to adjust on the fly, and you got to learn how to get yourself ready every day and get a routine. And the guys who learn that, the quicker I feel like end up working out better.
Now, every year, San Francisco brings in more guys to compete with you. When you get to spring training, there may be 20 pitchers standing around. How do you approach that?
I think that every job is, the best part about it is, or the best or worst part, depending on how you look at it, is every job is, you're expendable anywhere. I mean, I'm competing for my job every year. It's been like that in the minors and in the big leagues, and you want that competition. For me, it fuels me, like going in not knowing that I have to show them that I can still make the team and show them myself. That's part of baseball. That's the competition of it. Whether it's within the team in spring and then you're against other teams, but there's always going to be competition. I feel like on any team, because you can have a spot for a little bit, but it can be taken away just like that. So I think that there's competition all the time, and you got to be ready for it. If you're scared of competition, then it's just going to eat you up.
Do you read the sports pages, or when you were coming up, where you were listed in Baseball America and all that stuff?
I used to a lot when I was younger. But as I've gotten older and as I've gotten to see more of how the big leagues works and stuff like that, there's so much, the social media is so high right now, and a lot of the stuff out there can be negative, whether it's a blog or just a newspaper article or whatever it is. So I've done a better job the last year or so, year and a half, of just not reading it at all. Even if something comes on ESPN, I just start to see it go one way, I kind of turn it off, because it's just, you keep putting negative thoughts in your head, and you keep seeing this stuff, and you let it take control of your head, and that's definitely someplace you don't want that to be.
They talk about baseball and going up and down the organization and getting injuries and stuff. Have you ever thought about quitting baseball?
No, I never thought about that. I feel like when this was my first big injury, so when an arm injury happens to a pitcher, it's very frightening. But I felt like with work ethic and stuff, I can get my stuff back and get back to where I was at when I was healthy. I mean, baseball is what I love to do, and it's what drives me. So I would think that quitting has never even come to mind. I feel like I still have a lot more years to pitch, and if it was at the end, if I was 35, 36 and this was happening, I would think about it, but right now I feel like I've got a whole lot of baseball ahead of me.
So what gets you through this part right now?
Just knowing every time out there, I feel more and more comfortable. I'm still in spring training mode. I've only thrown 6 innings since last September, competitively. So for me, it's just getting back out there, getting comfortable again, trusting, more or less just trusting I can let the ball go and my arm's going to be fine. And I felt like I'm going in the right direction. I feel like I'm very close to getting back to what I was at, and that's exciting to me. So I'm just going, as cliche as it is, it's the truth. I just go day by day and know that I'm healthy, and know that every time I get out there, I can get sharper and get myself back.
How do you handle the umpires?
I mean, I think that the umpires, they got the toughest job as anyone. I think that they definitely, they got to sit there and make these calls that, one team's going to get upset and the other team's going to be happy, but you can't let that control you. I mean, there's so many variables in this game that can control you, whether it's the crowd, the umpires and stuff. If you're worried about one call, that's a problem. So, I mean, obviously you're going to get, this game evens out. You're going to get some, you're going to give some, there's not going to get some. So I feel like as long as you keep your head, keep your head controlled and you concentrate on the task at hand, it's going to end up working out for you.
What about the crowd? People yelling and screaming at you all the time. Do you get used to that, or how this
The
still
crowd's
bother you?
fun for me. If they're out there razzing you and talking about that stuff, that's fine with me. It's all part of the game. It's a lot of fun because you can go on the road and you get razzed, you come home and the fans love you at home. So it's part of the game, whether you like it or not. I don't mind it, to tell you the truth. I try not to pay much attention. It's easy to block them out for me. For a lot of guys who hear it all the time, it's not that tough anymore. But it can. I mean, at first, if you start listening and stuff like that, it can get you because they can say some pretty bad stuff. But it's more or less it's funny. It's all part of the game. These guys, these are just fans who are out there supporting their team, and if they could try and get in your head and alter what you're thinking on the mound, then they can do that. So I just try and block them out the best I can. It usually works.
What would you tell a high school kid about professional baseball you learned the hard way that nobody told you about?
The hard way that no one told me. I'd say that people don't. In high school, for me, it was a big deal. I always worried about what coaches thought, what everyone else thought, and I stopped. I started listening instead of playing the game for fun at one point. It started to become a grind. I started to let coaches tell me I wasn't good enough to play anymore. And I would say don't listen. If you love the game and you put the hard work in, it'll work out for you. Whether that means you get to play through high school, you get to college, you get to the minors, the pros, whatever it is. I feel like if you love the game and you're out there because you love it and you put the time and effort in, it's gonna work out for you, because there should be nobody in high school or at any level that should tell you you shouldn't be able to play the game if you can and you love it.